Right, what's going on, guys? Good morning. My name is Anass. I'm a final year medical student studying in London, and today we're going to talk about how I was able to make about $30,000 to $34,000 while I was a biomedical science student a couple of years ago, and how I kind of worked up to that. So that's what we're going to talk about, and the strategies that I used. So that might be useful in this vlog. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so I've almost finished my shift for today. So about 25 patients. So that's not on placement, by the way. So I've finished my GP placement. Now I'm actually at work. So I actually do this for a job. And you might be wondering, what is it I do? So I work as a healthcare assistant, which means the main stuff I do is things like taking bloods, diabetic reviews, asthma reviews, spirometry, checking INRs, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, look, you can see all my equipment here. I've got my blood test tubes, I've got blood pressure monitor, I've got all kinds of stuff here. But okay, look, the topic of today's video is, since I'm trying to provide more and more value, we've seen the interesting title, how I made $34,000 while I was a student. So a couple of years ago, I was doing biomedical science, which was very, very intense. But at the same time, I was able to work and make a decent amount of money. What I want to go through today is how can you actually hold down a job like that without feeling like you're compromising on your academics, and also without feeling like you're working all the time. So I was making about, £10,000 a year, which then over those 3 years averaged out to about $34K. Here's a few tips. Actually, I've written them down. I've kind of gone through them, so there'll be a structure to this. So the very first tip is to make sure that the job that you get, whether it be in retail, whether it be in healthcare, or wherever it is, make sure that you're contracted to work only a single day a week. So there are some jobs, for example, where they contract you to come in for 4 hours each on a Saturday and then on a Sunday. That's a waste of time, because you're coming in, or you're wasting 2 separate days just for 4 hours of work each, whereas you could have just combined them into a single day. The main issue with working few hours in one specific day is that it's difficult to have multiple focuses or multiple things that are important to do in one particular day. So for example, if you're going to work for 4 hours, then it means that you need to travel probably for an hour into work. You need to travel for an hour out of work. You'll probably have some break time, which means that most of the day has been wasted on that. So you might as well just squeeze in more hours in one day instead of wasting another one just for a few more hours. The second tip is to make sure that you do your job well and you have a good working relationship with your colleagues and also your managers. The reason for that is actually it makes work fun, but the other thing is that you're more likely to then be offered further flexible hours, because you're contracted for 8 hours and you're always going to do those hours. Those hours are non-negotiable. But anything on top of that is just going to be extras. Whenever people need you, you can come in, or you can call up your colleagues and be like, okay, I'm free on so-and-so day next week. Is it all right if I come in and work on those days? So having a good working relationship and doing your job well just increases the likelihood of you getting further flexible hours. The third tip is linked with tip number 1, which is whenever you're offered extra hours, make sure you take maximum amount of hours in one day. So if you're offered an extra day to work, then what I used to do is I'd work 10 hours in one day instead of splitting those 10 hours into 5 hours on different days. Okay, so that's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is to be efficient with your time at university. So now what you're wondering is, okay, what were you doing about lectures when you were studying biomed or whatever? Well, our lectures were recorded, okay? And I personally didn't find attending lectures as an efficient way of learning. What would end up happening is I would go into the lecture, and then I would struggle to concentrate, I couldn't keep up, and then I'd start falling asleep by 20 minutes into the lecture. And to me, it was just not, I just felt like there were other things that I could do. So what I would do then instead, whenever the lecture wasn't compulsory, which most weren't, I would take a few of those days and work instead, and then actually just go through the lectures in the evening. So that way I was being a bit more efficient with my time. I didn't just do things which were not helpful to me. I didn't attend lectures because I didn't find them helpful. And that's one way that I used to free up time in order to work, but then also make sure that when I was studying, I was studying in the most efficient way for myself. Now, I make it sound like I was working a lot during the weeks, but I wasn't. Most of the time I'd work once or twice per week. However, the most amount of time that I used to work was during the holidays, because oftentimes many staff members take time off during kind of those festive periods. So especially Christmas holidays, which you get a whole month off usually at university, and also your summer holidays. So I'd work 3 weeks non-stop for about 5 to 6 days a week, 10 hours each. That would bring in a decent amount of cash for 3 weeks, and then I'll do the same in the summer. All in all, yeah, having used all of those kind of techniques together, I was able to do like literally everything I wanted to do. I was able to travel a lot. I was able to buy things that I needed to buy. It kind of gave you a financial freedom in some sense. At the same time, I didn't feel like I was working a lot, because I would work out of the year intensely, about 6 to 8 weeks intensely out of the year, and then also once or twice per week during university times. To summarize that, number one, get contracted for a single day a week as your baseline, because that will give you more flexibility to increase hours. Number two, have a good working relationship, which will increase the chances of you getting further hours when you want them. And number three is, when you do get those extra hours, make sure that you get a lot of hours in one day, not loads of hours spread up on loads of different days. Number four is to make sure you're using your time efficiently, like if you don't find lectures useful and the lectures are recorded and filmed and you can listen to them online and they're not useful for you, then personally I didn't find that as the best use of my own time, and I'd rather study on my own.
Oh my, am I in?
Yeah, no, it's coming, don't worry about it. Oh, by the way, Abu, listen, because I'm not doing anything, so if you need to book it, just let me know. I ain't doing anything. Now, later on, I do have a little motive with some friends, so we're going to see how that goes. We're going to go and see a movie, so I need to finish up this clinic. I don't know if someone's waiting, but hi. Freaking hell, man. I'm trying to walk through this area and there's so many people, it's insane. Right now, the motive is to go to the cinema. That's what we're gonna do. And this is a movie I've been waiting to watch. Blue Story, after saying Shiro Story on YouTube. I don't know if anyone's seen that. This is a highly anticipated movie. So we're gonna see how that is. And might go up for a meal after that as well. I don't know how it is for other people, but I like just having like chilled out sessions where, you know, going out for meals or going cinema or going cafes or whatever. I just kind of enjoy that thing, and it's just it's a nice break. Oh, look at that. Alright, I finally made it to Clapham Junction. Low key, I'm hella tired. Sitting on the train, I'm just like, you know them ones when you're like, and then you wake up and then you're trying to stay awake, and then you wake up again and you fall asleep. Oh, it was I almost missed my station, man. So but now I'm awake again, and need to catch the bus to get to Wandsworth, which is where we're gonna watch the movie. And for the very first time, actually I'm on time sometimes, but for the very first time in a long time, I'm actually early. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like I might be the very first one here. Come on, time management's on point these days.
Yo, Silla, what is it? Yo, what's up? Yeah, what up?
Alright, we've just taken a fat L. We don't allow it, man. We've just taken a fat L. Can't watch the movie just because like this, the seats are packed up. So we're gonna try and find another audience. Or we can. Oh, okay. So we're gonna find another audience. So we watched the movie. I have to say, it was very, very solid. Yeah, the storyline was good. There's like one point where I thought the movie was gonna end, but yeah, it held its own. It was good. Then what did we do? We went to get some food. Here's a couple shots of what the food looked like, and they just roamed around Central and that. But I'm gonna end the video here. It has been a long day. I feel like I've had 2 days in one, man, to be honest. Yep, follow the gram if you want. Like the video if you liked it. Comment. That's it. Safe.